It is Wednesday, November 27th, 2024. This is another off-season edition of Baseball Today. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan along for the ride as well. Truth be told, we had some breaking news on Tuesday night, so we took Plouffe out of his deer blind or
Yeah,
wherever he was. What were you, hunting turkeys or something? Look at you.
exactly. Thanksgiving is on Thursdays. I had to go get a bird for my family out in Los Angeles. Are there wild turkeys out here? Probably not.
There's turkeys. I don't know if they're wild or not, but it's a good
I've
call.
had wild turkey before.
No, you haven't, had you? Oh, the drink. I got you.
Yeah,
Okay, I hear you.
you got me.
Okay. Let's get this thing going because we're so excited. We're a little punchy because one of the big name free agents is off the board. The left-hander. That's right. Go spin that bad boy because Blake Snell is signing with the world champion Los Angeles Dodgers. 5 years and $182 million. So his trek through the National League West continues. Padres, Giants, now Dodgers. We had heard rumors about this, and in fact, Snell posted it. Jeff Passan, our buddy from ESPN, was the first to report it out there. And then Snell solidified it with the IG post of him wearing the Dodgers number 7. We knew that this was a possibility, but how surprised are you that it actually came to fruition?
I guess I'm not that surprised, to be honest with you, with the Dodgers, just because they have so much going for them right now. And look, we talked about Snell. What does this guy want right now? He wants to go out there and have a chance to win because that's what everybody wants in the big leagues. But he also has a young family. You know, he's situated in Seattle, so a West Coast team is preferable. The Dodgers, with like the Shohei deferred money, have apparently a bunch of bucks to spend too. So it all kind of lines up. And we talked about this as well, Chris. This is one of the premier organizations, not just because they have money, but the way they treat people and the way they develop players. So it all kind of adds up. So I'm not too shocked. I think the quickness of it is what's surprising, but I love that. And I told you this is what teams need to do. Like, go
Mhm.
let somebody have a normal offseason. I think teams got snake bit by that over the last few years, understanding we bring guys in, and Snell was one of those guys that went through that, not having a normal offseason, normal spring training. So he wanted to sign early. The Dodgers knew it, gave him what he wanted, and here we are.
Yeah, I mean, last year, the first of all, he didn't sign until a couple of weeks before the season started, and it was essentially a 1-year deal. I mean, it was 2 for 62, but he knew that if he pitched reasonably well, he was gonna go back and have to relive this free agency. I can't imagine that was fun for him, sitting around, coming off his second Cy Young and not having a lot of people knock on his door or maybe getting some bad advice or perhaps combination of the two, who knows? And then he starts out and he loses his first 3 starts and he ends up getting injured and he ends up on the injured list. And, he talked about rushing himself and not being ready and feeling the pressure and all that sort of stuff. Now, once he came back off that injury, there were few pitchers that were better in baseball. And that's what the Dodgers are banking on. The other part of this is that Blake Snell, I think he's fun. Okay. I love talking to him. I love listening to him, particularly during his days when he was out there with the Padres and throwing on the headsets on days in between starts. He's awfully entertaining. He's informative. He's opinionated, the whole bit, but he's a different dude. And he can be that with the Dodgers. In fact, they encourage it. Be exactly who you are. Just roll, be out here. And by the way, you don't have to make 30 starts for the Dodgers. You can
No,
make you can make 20. Like, as long as you're ready to roll in October, and even if you're not ready, we'll probably have somebody else who can take your place.
that's a really good point about the innings. Like, they don't really expect any pitchers that they sign to go out there and give them 36 starts throughout the year. They're like, hey, give us like you said, 20 to 25 good starts, and then if you're ready for the postseason, huge bonus. What we heard about this Dodgers team, or at least what I heard specifically from some of the players, on the team, was that they were very, very close. And I know we hear that from all playoff teams, but getting into some of the detail, like they would spend, hours after hours, even during their bye week together because they wanted to keep that bond. They wanted to keep it going. They didn't want it to, to your focus to go back on your family life and forget about what's happening on the field. They said, just give us this month and then you can have your family all postseason. Like, this is a very tight knit group. The leaders are there. Snell fits in perfectly. Again, I know him personally as well. I was, one of his teammates, and I got to see this guy grow. He's a phenomenal person. So he fits here. I mean, if you're a Dodgers fan, what else could you want before you're carving up the turkey, Chris?
No, I mean one of my close Dodger friends, Dr. Boris Weissman, he texted me. He goes, "I wonder who the fifth starter is going to be." I'm sitting here going, "Ha ha, smart ass!" Like, real. I mean, if you think about it now, big picture here:
Yep.
Snell, Yamamoto,
Yep.
Glass now, assuming he's ready to go, Kershaw, Shohei. By the way, they can slow play him. No rush in getting him ready coming off of that surgery.
Tony
Um,
Gonsolin,
right, Gonsolin,
Bobby
Dust,
Miller.
Dustin May, Landon Knack is way down the list if you
Don't
need him.
forget about Bobby Miller, people. I promise you, you're not going to want to forget about that guy.
I know, but what it
It's
does,
crazy. They're like 8. They're 8. I mean, obviously, question marks galore, right?
Yep.
But they're 8 pitchers deep, guys that could be. Each of those guys could be at least a middle rotation guy in most other rotations.
What do you think it means for Roki, by the way? You think, I mean, they've got to be done pursuing him.
Who knows? There's supposed to be deferred money in this contract too, Chris. I
Right.
don't know, man.
And
I just put out a clip on social
uh-huh.
where I said I really feel like they're not done this offseason. Where that means they go out and get another pitcher, which, probably not, but who knows? But I still believe they're in play for impact bats. Maybe an extension with Tom Yedman. Like, this is they're going for it, Chris. They're freaking diving head first, dude. Like Moana and Maui and
we'll get into.
That's where I was at, people. I left the movies to come do this.
Oh, you're very sweet. We'll get into the whole super team side of this momentarily. I mean, does this mean that their pursuit of a Juan Soto, whether was full bore or just kind of checking it out and meeting with him and doing their due diligence, they can't sign Blake Snell for almost $200 million and Juan Soto for $600 million plus. That's not going to happen.
In my mind, it never really was a thing with them. Could they shock us? I mean, I guess I'd give that a pretty small chance. So I never really pictured him coming to the Dodgers. I feel like they are one of those teams that thinks, well, with that money going to him, there's other pieces we like here.
There's not one thing about this where you're like, I think most of the time when you sign a big name free agent pitcher, you're as excited as you might get. There's always that concern. Well, what if he breaks down during the length of the deal and all this? That's where the Dodgers are laughing because whatever.
Have they just set their expectations lower and that's why they laugh about it? I think that's what it is, Chris. I think they're realistic, reading the room on pitchers' injuries throughout all of baseball. And they're saying, look, we can't sign one guy and say that guy's going to give us 200 innings because it's just how many guys do it every year? Less than 10.
Yeah. I mean, they gave a $130 million extension to Tyler Glass now, and the guy hadn't thrown more than 125 innings or whatever, and they didn't even balk at it. They were just like, yeah, here we go. They just have a different thought process. Now, in fairness, they got the type of money that a lot of teams do not. And once again, we'll get to this in our third question, whether or not it's good or it's bad for the sport. But there are a handful of teams that probably could approach the offseason the way that the Dodgers do. Don't you think?
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, the Dodgers they have the TV deal. A lot of teams are struggling with that right now. But, they spent money to make money. They spent money and went out and got Shohei, understanding that they're going to get the Japanese market, that they might win a World Series with this guy. So, like, if they didn't go win the World Series this year, I still think they would pursue because I think they're like I said, all in at this point. But it's just proving their point that, yes, do they have more resources than some teams? Sure, but not like I could count probably 7 or 8 other teams that could operate like the Dodgers if they wanted to.
Yeah, but they're not choosing to. So this leaves several teams in the dust that had reportedly wanted to pursue Blake Snell, whether that's the Red Sox or the Yankees or the Orioles or maybe a return to San Francisco. I'm sure there were several other teams that talked with him, whether or not they put a full-fledged offer on the table. We don't know at this point. But which team does it hurt the most that he is signing elsewhere?
I think my answer is not really any teams are hurt that badly by him signing with the Dodgers. The other teams in the division, sure, I think but that's not the question you're asking. Who missed out on him is going to miss out the most. I think there's other pitchers available in this free agent class, so I don't think it's drastic. Now, I would say I would put the Red Sox at the top of the list if I had to name a team. They have the startings of what looks like a really good rotation, one that we thought was going to carry this team throughout all of 2024. They kind of faltered towards the end, and their offense kind of showed up. Surprisingly, now all of a sudden they have like a young core that can get the job done offensively. It was really beautiful in the second half. So I think for them, adding a front end starter is huge and could be a massive difference, in where they finish in that division. But again, there's still people out there. But hey, there's one less now. So I think I guess I'll answer and say Red Sox. But again, no team's panicking too bad at this point.
No, I would agree with that, but I would say the Baltimore Orioles a little bit. I think that maybe it means that they really have to step on the accelerator if they want to get a guy like a Max Fried, and who knows if that's a place where he wants to end up. I don't know if Corbin Burns returns there or not. They need a frontline guy, and I really do think that they need a left-hander too. They just don't have that built into their rotation. So I would say the Orioles
is an Oriole. I think he goes there. And unless the Mets are like, we need you back, big guy.
Yeah. Well, what about the Mets? We didn't mention them. Do you think that they're probably a team or are they so focused on getting Juan Soto right now that they'll take care of the pitching when they can take care of the pitching?
And I think that's going to be a problem. Like, they can't just do that because that's not the only thing that team needs. I mean, look, he's going to be a game changer for them, obviously, but they do need a starter to step in there. So you can't really focus solely on him. Like, go get one of these guys and say, look, Juan, like, is this going to put us over the top? We just went out and signed Max Fried, or we went out and signed Sasaki. Like, I think that would help in the bargaining process. So there's still some good pitchers left out there.
Yeah, I don't think it's Panicsville. I would agree with you. If you're the Padres, though, are you bumming, or do you just kind of let this go? Okay, well, it's no big deal. It's just,
all I know is Blake Snell is he's going to find the friendliest in that brawl that's inevitably going to happen in 2025. Blake Snell's going to find one of his buddies. They're going to play fight on the edge of the circle. He's too close.
Well, but if you're a Padres
or maybe
fan,
not. Hey,
you are a little chapped because you keep hearing the Dodgers on all these podcasts say the same thing, which was San Diego was the team we were concerned about the most. When we were down 2-1, we were wondering, boy, are we going to be able to get past them? And if we do, we're going to be home free because that is the team that worries us the most. And now it feels like they have certainly put a little more distance between themselves and their little brothers to the south on the I-5, right?
It's not great. I mean, I think talking to Padres fans, whether in person at the stadium or via social media, they're a very confident group. They'll find something wrong with Blake Snell and they'll ride with that. Say, like, he doesn't do this that well. It's kind of like, is it sad for them to see him go to LA? Of course it is, man. Like, that guy's a heck of a pitcher. I thought he fit in really well with the Padres as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, gang. It is that time of year. Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals are officially in full swing. And I want to tell you about something special for you. Mando, its 72-hour formula keeps you fresh, even on those nonstop days. So while you're juggling gift lists and long lines and family gatherings, well, Mando's got you covered, and there's no reapplying necessary. It is made by a doctor. Mando is science-backed for real odor control. It's not some gimmick. Mando's low pH formula actually stops odor before it starts rather than simply covering it up. Now, Mando's starter pack, it is perfect for new customers or to secure some last-minute stocking stuffers as well. Comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like the mini body wash or the deodorant wipes, and free shipping. And right now, through Cyber Monday, you can get up to 30% off your bundles. So your bundle rooskies. Do that. Head on over to shopmando.com to shop their sale. That is shopmando.com. And when they ask, please support our show. Tell them that Baseball Today sent you. Don't let the holidays stress get you sweating this holiday season. Your family and friends will thank you because you don't want to walk around at those parties with your family going, who dat? Who dat? You want to say, it ain't me because I'm taken care of thanks to Mando. All right, we continue on with the big Blake Snell signing. I got an interesting tweet from one of our regular viewers out there. This is Steven Bruno, who said, honest question, as a Pirates fan and a season ticket holder, why should I continue to care about my team and the support when the competitive/financial balance is so out of whack? I want you to answer this, and then we'll go elsewhere with the discussion. It's a good question, Steven.
It is a good question, and I don't really have a good answer for you. I don't. I understand. Look, people work hard for their money, and these games are not cheap to go to. So yeah, if you're a season ticket holder, that's a pretty penny out of the pocket right there.
Mhm.
And if you don't feel like you're getting your money's worth, then like anything else, that you purchase, if it's not worth it, why would you continue to do it? I think there's the hope that something is going to turn around quickly. The Pirates seem to kind of have that hope. But I think to Steve's point, they're not willing to go all in just yet. That's very frustrating. As a fan, you see what's right in front of you. You have, I just said Blake Snell's a top 3 pure stuff pitcher in the game. You probably have the number 1 guy on your team. Plus, you got some real talent there that, if supplemented, could really turn the entire thing around there. So I really understand a Pirates fan's frustration. I think there are other teams that kind of understand where they're at on the clock, and they don't expect their teams to be there every single year. But again, it's your money, and you can choose what to do. But for the Pirates fan specifically, I don't know what to tell you. You should be right at the point where put a little gasoline on the fire. That thing is going to go. You have the players there, but they haven't been able to, I guess, push that button yet, Chris.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of twofold here for Steven and his question. I think there's a lot of baseball fans that feel that way because
Mhm.
when you see the Dodgers go out and add another essentially $200 million pitcher to a world championship team, and, they're a squad that has now handed out 5 $100+ million contracts since the start of the 2023 offseason. That is the same number of the rest of baseball combined. And I think that is a little disheartening because no matter where you're from, no matter what team you grew up rooting for, so that could be Dodgers, Yankees, Boston, Philly, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, at the opposite end of the spectrum, Tampa Bay, you want to feel like it's a fair fight. And I have to be honest with you, as great as last year was for my Cleveland Guardians, it was an uphill battle when we got to the ALCS. It just was because you look at the teams, they're not even. And it's not fair. The other sport that I cover, the Green Bay Packers are so much better than the New York Giants. It's not even close. It is not even close. You don't even think about things because of the salary cap. You don't think about payroll because it just doesn't exist in that sport. And I know the obvious answer is, well, we need a salary cap. But we have to get past that. Barring a monumental work stoppage, which God, I hope we don't have, that is never going to come to fruition. So what do you do with these feelings, Steven? I think you have to feel like every 5 days, I've got one of the most special players in the sport that I can watch. The players and the coaches and the manager deserve your support, even if the owner does not. And it's hard to separate those two, but I think if you could try, that's the best way to look at it.
I understand that. I understand the frustrations of a Pirates fan for sure. As far as a super team, and I just think baseball does have enough parity. Do I wish all teams, you know, spent more money during the offseason and brought in more players? Yeah, but there are teams that can figure it out and have really understood that and invested in themselves and hired the right people. I'm talking to you, Guardians. I'm talking about you, Brewers. Teams like that, like they have found in the Rays, they have found ways to make it work year in and year out. So there isn't like super team or nothing in baseball. So I think that's the real saving grace for our sport is that even if you do go out and spend a bunch of money, it doesn't guarantee anything at all. Now the Dodgers are kind of taking it to the next level, but they also do the other things really well. And because they were able to do those things really well, like develop, draft, trade, have great, internal scouting, it's gotten them to this level where they feel very, very comfortable going out there and spending money on free agents.
So do you think that I think it's fair to call the Dodgers, even though they
They're a
haven't
super
won.
team,
They're a super
Chris.
team.
They're a
Right,
super
okay.
team.
They
Yes,
are
as close as it gets in baseball, they are a super team. They have. I mean, just think about the people that they have
yes,
on that freaking team.
I got it. So
They
they're a
just
super
added a
team.
two-time Cy Young winner. They have MVPs 1 through 3 in their lineup, and the guys hitting in the middle and further down, like they're all stars. Like this is a real deal team.
Okay. With that being said, is that good for baseball?
I think it's fine because they're not going to win every single year. They might go on a little run here where they take 2 out of the next 5, something like that. But I think that's happened many times before, and I don't think it guarantees anything. And I think there is something. Look, I'm the further away I get from the field of baseball, the more I appreciate the entertainment aspect of it. And I always say we need to kind of drum that up a little bit more because that's what we are. It's an entertainment sport. It's the entertainment business, Chris. And I think it's good to have the villains,
Totally.
the Death Stars, the punchy underdogs. You want to run the gamut with your characters and your story. And I think baseball is able to do that.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is that they have made the target on their back bigger with this Blake Snell signing, and that is wonderful. You want as many people. There's
Yeah.
going to be a certain
Hey,
faction.
Jake Paul. That's Jake Paul's secret ingredient. Everybody wants to see that dude get knocked out. Doesn't
Yep.
matter who he fights.
Yep. And the Dodgers know that.
Yep.
They know that.
Mookie said it. Mookie said it early on. I said every team's going to be playing us like it's their World Series. Then they went out and won the dang World Series, Chris.
Yeah. And there's going to be everybody that is not a Dodger fan is going to be rooting for the other team come October. They're going to be like, just get these guys out of here with their, it feels like $1 billion payroll. It's not, but it sure as hell feels that way.
There's 3 teams like that in baseball right now. It's the Yankees, the Dodgers, and the Astros. They are, no matter who they're playing nationally, I think people are rooting against them. I think that's good.
I agree. I think it's great. And by the way, if you're a fan of one of those teams, yeah, you want that target on your back.
The Phillies are in such a sweet spot, Chris, where like they're so good, but like people will root for them, right? Like it seems like that to me. Am I far off on that?
No, I think that I agree with you on the players. I think that people don't like the fan base for the most
Fan
part.
base is great. They're a little
I'm not
rowdy
saying
sometimes.
that I dislike them, but don't you think the national perception
Can I say something about Philly fans?
Yeah.
I was just at the Monday night football game, or excuse me, Sunday night football game.
Yep.
Eagles Rams. And that place is a road stadium. Niners fans come into town, Packers fans come into town, Raiders fans come into town. It's rarely ever a home game for the Rams. So I hear the other crowds. I've never heard a louder crowd than the Eagles.
They are
It was
fans.
Wild, Chris.
Yep. They're loud.
So congratulations. I mean, that's impressive, man.
They are loud. They're loud. Well, let us know what you're thinking. Leave a comment about it, whether or not you think that it's good or bad for baseball. That we've got a super team here that's being built in Los Angeles. And do you think that they sign another, let's say, $100+ million free agent this offseason?
No, but I think they'll sign like AAV. They'll sign someone that's like that. I think they'll go like a 3-year 75, something like that. So like a pretty high in AV, but I don't know if they're going to go unless somehow Alex Bregman falls into their lap, which would be just kind of crazy.
Come on, that's not going to happen.
I'm just saying. I also think they could make some trades, which is another avenue that they've been pretty good at as well.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think that they make any huge trades in the offseason. I think they wait. They see who's healthy. And then I think when they get to July, they'll figure out which guys can go and which guys stay. They do it all the time, man.
I think Teoscar I feel like he's a Dodger.
Huh, you think he comes back?
Yeah.
I don't who drafted Snell in our draft?
We got to get on that. Dan, that's your job. Find that before the show ends.
Yeah. Yeah, I forget who that was. I know it wasn't me and it wasn't you. So it was
I
either
think, yeah, my first 2 picks were like Flaherty and Bregman, I think.
yeah.
Both the Tigers.
I think it was Jake. I want to say it
Like
was
late, right?
I think he had the wraparound pick. I think he
Yeah.
wasn't he
Well,
4 or
we'll find
5?
it.
Yeah, so we'll figure it out and we'll kind of go from there. All right. We have mentioned Juan Soto several times. We understand that he has had his first round of meetings, that there's been a first round of offers. There's a possibility this deal could get done before the winter meetings in Texas. We shall see. But he tried to play the old okey doke on social media on Tuesday.
This wasn't an easy decision, but after meeting with the team, it became clear what I wanted to be. That being said, Team Texas.
Did you laugh at all?
I mean, I smiled on the inside because I know that's a fat check that Juan Soto just got paid to be Team Celsius. Obviously it was fake. But everyone's going to be talking about it. That's all they needed, man. It's just good enough where it's going to be mentioned in all of the baseball programs. SportsCenter's probably going to mention it, whatever it is. You didn't? Did you? If you're asking if it got me, no, it did not.
No, it definitely. I don't think
Because
it
I
got
know our
you,
guy,
but
freaking Jeff Passon's going to have it first, and it's going to blow the internet up. You know how
yeah,
it goes.
it-
Or Carlos Baerga's.
yeah,
And
he's gonna go get it.
that's an interesting. We should bet that who's going to have it first. I feel like
Ooh, I like that.
Baerga might get this one.
Yeah, no, it didn't get anybody. Good for him. Go get that bag. Add on to the.
What do you think it was?
What do I think he got for it?
Yeah.
Oof. Few million.
And it's a couple commercials I'm sure he'll have to do.
Yeah, how many? 5, 4, 3.
Yeah, I bet it's something
3?
like that.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, I don't know. God Almighty, that's it. But that's not what we're here. We're not here to talk
No.
about Juan Soto's acting skills or anything else. We are going to ask the question: Is the story best for baseball if he heads back to the Yankees or if he leaves the Yankees?
I'm gonna be called a hater no matter which way I go here.
Well, that
Chris.
doesn't matter. Just what do you think the story is better?
I think the story's better that he goes back to the Yankees and they have that core of him and Judge. I feel like that seems Yankee-ish to me. That feels right. And the other like side of that story is okay. Then Steve Cohen's like, screw it. Like I am getting everybody else, and just goes and tries to lure everybody to that team. So I think that's where my mind is with everything.
I think the story's better if he goes to Queens because then it sends the Yankee fan base into the panic. And now we get to see how Steinbrenner gets to operate, right? Missing out on a guy who he had in his backyard. Has there been a guy that has left that team at the apex of his career?
No, I don't think so.
Maybe toward the end of his career that's happened, but not a guy at 26 years old who just finished top 3 in the MVP voting and gives you the best 1-2 punch that you can have around. Like that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. So I would just say for script writers, it's most interesting if he goes to a different borough.
Yeah, I like where your head's. I think both work, but I have like Dark Knight, like Steve Cohen becomes the Joker and just goes crazy over there. That's where I have that going.
That God, I can't wait to see it happen. I do want to see it happen right before the winter meetings.
And then John Middleton's going to come in and just say, "Come on over to Philly, baby. We love you."
Hey, while you're in the comments section, let us know, is it best for baseball in terms of just an interest story. Where Juan Soto ends up. Does he go back to the Bronx? Somewhere else? Let us know. You got a lot of stuff going on there. Sounds good. All right. Today's episode, Baseball Today, is sponsored by Mova Globes. Mova makes rotating globes that are constantly in motion. They're powered by ambient light. There's hidden magnets that provide movement, so there's no batteries or messy cords. Look, see, it just sits on this beautiful clear pedestal, and then once I actually put it down, it'll start moving around. It's available in over 40 designs. That includes all 30 major league teams, world maps, outer space, famous artwork, and much more. And as an official MLB partner, Mova is proud to present this unique baseball memorabilia. It is perfect for both classic baseball collectible enthusiasts and also devoted fans. And did I mention earlier? Of course I did, that all 30 teams are available right now. So enjoy 10% off all officially licensed MLB Mova Globes. That's when you use the code BT10. That is the code BT, as in baseball today, 10. Go order your globes now with the link in the description. It is a great holiday gift. Get out in front of it. Go do your shopping. It is the perfect thing to put, like in the office. When I just work here, I sit down. Sometimes when I have a hard time thinking about stuff, I stare at my Mova Globe for about 3 minutes. Unwinds the brain, and I feel much better.
Okay.
Okay?
I like that.
All right, we got Thanksgiving coming up. We are both playing host. How's your cooking coming along, your prep work?
I forgot we were doing this question. We actually started tonight. We did. Olivia, she got some sourdough from this awesome lady Shannon in our neighborhood. So that's like the starter for her
Shannon.
stuffing. Shout out Shannon. The starter for her stuffing. So shout out my boy Coach Nick. Coach Nick's Barbecue. He's like one of my oldest friends. He's doing my turkey this year. He's smoking it. Yeah.
All right. We're having a over or underrated. That is the only choice, either over or underrated for the following items.
Yes.
Let's start with stuffing.
I think it's overrated. I'm not a huge stuffing fan. Yeah, I know. Like I've had good ones, but like that is to me probably like third or fourth on the list. But I know some people just love it.
Killing
Sorry,
me.
Chris. Yeah.
You are killing me. That is the first. That is, if you could only pick one thing to have, that is the only thing I'm eating. And in fact, it's so much so. My mother-in-law, Janet, whom I love dearly, wonderful, wonderful woman. She never makes enough, and I get kind of pissy with her. I was like, Janet, you need to make more. She's like, oh, I know, Chris. Again, I'm like, Janet, we only do this once a year. Like, this is it. You have to remember to please make more stuffing.
Okay.
So
I need to try Janet's stuffing, I guess.
Don't
get mad, Mom or Olivia. I don't know.
That's great. Mac and
other
cheese.
Stuff I like.
Mac and cheese.
I think that's also overrated. I don't really think it goes great with the other Thanksgiving food. And I just don't love a bunch of that's Thanksgiving mac and cheese is way different than like regular mac and cheese. I feel like it's like too much cheese, too much cream. You need to chill out on all that.
I'll also go overrated here. We don't usually have it. The only reason we're having it is because Brady's home from college and requested it. So that's the only reason. That's it.
Mac and cheese is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
But I like other stuff more, people.
It's got to be crusty in the corners, though. It's got to be burnt in the corners.
Okay.
No?
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Oh, I don't know if you and I can have another meal together. Mashed potatoes.
Underrated. This is like my number one. Like, we're going to talk about a few more things, but they go on everything. You can dip your bread into it. Like, you put a little on the turkey with some gravy. It fills you up. Like, everything is perfect with the potato. And they're cheap too. I'm a man of the people.
Overrated.
You're crazy.
The consistency is too tough to get. It really is.
But they're all good. I like a chunky mash. I like a silky smooth mash. They're both delicious.
I've never. I mean, I eat them, but I don't crave them. Cranberry sauce.
Out. None. Overrated. Is it even rated? People don't even do that. It's like a lie.
I think I agree with you. Green beans.
Probably underrated. I like a nice green bean. I don't
Yeah,
think they get a lot of love,
they
but
don't.
it's like really the only one of the only greens. Like actual greens can come on your plate, and then string
Yes,
beans as well. Yeah,
exactly. We
it's like the
always had
only two greens that you can have. It's like
yeah,
collard greens or string beans,
green beans.
green beans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michelle makes them. They're great. They're very, very good. And we have a salad too. Those are the only two green things that
Okay.
we have. So
Salad doesn't go either.
I know,
Doesn't
but
go.
we just have to
I
have
know everyone. You have to have one.
yams.
Ooh, like sweet potatoes, right?
Yeah, I mean, it all
Oh,
depends on how it's prepared for me.
yeah, I think underrated. I love that. Give
Yeah,
me like the sweet dessert one. I
that's the
don't put a
thing.
lot of that in my body, but it's Thanksgiving. Or like dice me up some sweet potatoes or yams or whatever and just serve it like that. Like an oven roasted yam or sweet potato. Oh, give it to me.
Shout out to Michelle's sister Denise. That's what she
Shout
brings.
out.
She
Yeah.
does that, and I
Sup,
think
Denise?
I have to remind. Actually, right after we're done here, I got to text her. Make double this year. She doesn't make enough.
Call
Once
Janet
again.
too. Like, let's go.
Yeah, I guess I got to call Janet.
Okay.
Pumpkin pie.
Maybe the most underrated dish on the planet. I love me some pumpkin pie. Will I eat it this year? I don't know. I go
All
back
right.
and forth. I probably will taste it a little. I just that's like my favorite. Cheesecake and pumpkin pie.
This is a tough one for me because my late mother made the best pumpkin pie from scratch. Did the crust, everything from scratch. And it was so good that it set the bar so high that now I have it. I'm like,
Do you have the recipe?
yeah, my brother can make it. He's a very good
Not the
chef,
same.
but it's not Jackie Rose's pumpkin
I know.
pie.
Isn't that
So
crazy?
I can't. Yeah,
It's the
that's a
love,
tough
baby. It
one.
really means something.
Yeah. Should I even say turkey to close it off?
Turkey is underrated. People hate on turkey so much.
Wow.
They hate on it so much. I'm so over that. Turkey is very versatile. You have the breast, the white meat, the dark meat. If you do the skin right, it's delicious. You can save it for days and have leftovers. Turkey sandwiches are delicious. I am sick of the turkey hate. Like if you hate turkey, I think you're on the bandwagon, the turkey hate bandwagon. I think you need to get off of it.
I think that it's the most critical thing is how it's prepared, and I don't think this is going to get me in trouble. I don't think our family
dry
has.
ass turkey over there.
Yeah, I think we haven't been preparing it the right way.
Okay, you gotta get some good turkey, Chris.
I know. I think that's the problem. I think that's the issue. So I don't know. I mean, I could live without it. I think the way
I
it's
will say
prepared-
that a dry turkey is just get me out of there.
I know. It's tough.
Okay.
By the way, this was the best analysis we've had in the
It
offseason.
is so true. They're like, sweet. What'd you say about Blake Snell?
Exactly. Forget it. You come for the turkey talk and the stuffing.
I'm excited.
A few other things to clean up. Jake Storiali did indeed choose Blake Snell in our free agency draft. He had him going to the Orioles.
Okay.
So he doesn't get any points. Does he? Oh, maybe he gets. Do you get it if you? How many years? He had him signing for 4 years. He was signed for 5. Sorry, Jake.
Okay.
At least you got the name right. So no points, and he's got one guy off the board. The other thing is, everybody have an incredible Thanksgiving. It is awesome. For those of you that are with family and friends, enjoy. For those of you that might be flying solo, either can't get home or are working or whatever, we love you too. It's okay. I've had some Thanksgivings by myself. It's not great, but you hang in there, hang with them, and just know that there are people out there that care about you.
Absolutely. I echo that sentiment.
And one last thing. My dad would have turned 96 on Thanksgiving. So miss him dearly. He's been gone 12 years, but this was his favorite holiday because it was always right around his birthday, but it was always our favorite holiday because it felt like the one time we were all together as a family. So this is like our big day coming up.
Love
so
that.
it's cool.
Thank you, Papa Rose, for giving me my guy C Rose. I needed him.
My dad's name, by the way, I think I've shared this with you. It was now he was born in 1928. So it was one of those. Ready?
Yeah, give it to me.
Norton.
I almost said Norman. Norton is even better.
Well, every piece of mail was Norman or Morton. It was never Norton because I don't think anybody believed that his name was Norton.
Yeah.
So Norton Rose.
Shout out Norton.
Yeah,
What a guy.
Norty. Yeah, good dude. Good dude. All right. Uh, shout out to our one-of-a-kind producer who is an awesome dude and will do this show at any time of day. He is a warrior out there. He is Dan Rourke. That is the uber talented Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. We will see you next week here on Baseball Today.